Mercedes-Benz Stadium for you. This is going to be in the international spotlight with the 2026 World Cup. 8 matches slated for the Benz, with the first now less than 11 months away. It's the event now being used as the catalyst for a bold new $212 million push to get hundreds of unsheltered residents into housing, starting right in the heart of downtown. With more on this mission is Cathryn Vassell, CEO of Partners for Home, collaborating with the City of Atlanta on this initiative. Welcome to the show, and thanks for the time.
Thanks so much for having me.
So Atlanta has a history of cleaning up visible homelessness before big events. How is this effort, do you feel, different?
Yeah, this effort aligns with what we've been focused on for the last 10 years now, which is getting folks out of homelessness as quickly as possible into the right tailored housing solution with the right complement of supportive services. And that's been something we have been squarely focused on with both this administration as well as prior administrations, to utilize a housing first effort to get folks, as I said, into housing as quickly as possible.
Yeah, because it's not just about getting into housing, but keeping families, individuals in housing. And as you mentioned, there's a lot of spokes to that wheel. So those things would be crucial to make sure it's a long-term solution. So talk more about how you're making sure it isn't just a short-term fix, maybe before the World Cup spotlight hits Atlanta, but a longer solution that could really change the city for decades to come.
Yeah, and I do want to double down on that point that this is not just about the World Cup and because of the World Cup, and that, as I said before, we've been focused on how we can scale our system with the right types of housing solutions, both now and, as you said, for years to come. This campaign is a little bit different. It's similar in some of the work we've done prior, in that we're doubling down on the things we know have been effective. Permanent supportive housing is something we've been investing in and developing over the years and are continuing to do that. And our permanent supportive housing has a 90% efficacy rate at keeping people in housing and preventing them from returning to homelessness. But what's new about this campaign and different about this campaign is the recognition that there is a higher acuity among people experiencing homelessness in our community. In other words, people have severe and persistent mental health issues. Sometimes there are co-occurring addiction issues. And then sometimes there are also comorbid, complex chronic medical conditions that people need attention to desperately. And so as a part of this campaign, we are looking at expanding and building on the work that's been done in the past by ensuring that there's the right complement of supportive services. We've launched, in partnership with Dr. Mark Holzberg, an effort to partner with the 5 major area health systems across our community to ensure that people who are getting stuck in emergency rooms and hospital beds, who no longer need that intensive level of care, can get discharged to the right housing solution with more intensive wraparound supports for them to ensure they can stabilize in housing and stay in housing and not return to homelessness.
And these efforts are kind of in parallel with housing prices, rent prices, everyday prices going up, which is a challenge for really most families in the city, especially ones who are living dollar to dollar, paycheck to paycheck. Can you talk us through maybe your thoughts on whether it's realistic to say we're on a path to eliminate unsheltered homelessness in downtown by 2026? Or is this about managing it better, in your thoughts?
I think it's both and. There's no question that we are facing incredible headwinds as a homeless crisis response system. To your point of rising rents across the community, and really the evaporation of what was once deeply, deeply affordable housing. Many of the individuals that I talked about and mentioned before are dealing with complex challenges and barriers and have extremely low incomes. These are individuals that might be on a supplemental security income due to a long-term disabling condition. And that's about $900 a month that an individual is trying to live on. And so if you could imagine trying to live on $900 a month, which I'm sure you're struggling to try to imagine,
Sure.
like us, then we are faced with having to come up with housing solutions that are going to work for that individual and that will be subsidized long term, to be deeply, deeply affordable so that that individual is no longer paying more than 30% of their income for rent. But to the point of eliminating unsheltered homelessness in the downtown area by the World Cup, I want to paint a picture for you because what that means for us is that we have created and scaled our system to have enough housing solutions for everybody who's experiencing homelessness in our system right now. And that we're creating and investing sufficiently so that when new people become homeless, so this isn't a matter of eradicating homelessness forever in our system. We know that new people are going to be coming into our system every single day. But we've got to create a system that is scaled and resourced such that when somebody new becomes homeless, that we have an immediate placement to offer them temporarily, and then we can exit them out of homelessness quickly and get them into a permanent housing solution so
That's
that they're not languishing on the streets of Atlanta and they're not languishing in the homeless system for longer than they need to be.
Cathryn Vassell, we really appreciate the time. There's so much more I hope we can talk about in the months ahead as we learn more about the program that really could make such a tremendous impact for so many people in our city. Thanks for the time.